Hey guys, my name is Discourse and welcome to my channel dedicated to bringing you the best Batman miniature game content on the internet. Today, I'm going to show you how to set up the Batman miniatures game. By this stage, you will have gathered your crew and assembled your deck of cards. And now, all that remains is to finally meet your opponent in the back alleys of Gotham City. If any of this isn't familiar, please check out my videos on Formula Crew and Objective Cards respectively. To set up this engagement, you will first need a 3-foot by 3-foot table or gaming space. Essentially, the space of a kitchen table. You will want to populate this space with terrain. As the game tends to take place on the streets of Gotham City, many players opt for urban decay and noir architecture as their go-to terrain style. Though obviously, the landscape can be as imaginative as you want. You can opt for plastic terrain, although it may be more affordable to pick up some MDF pieces. These tend to be relatively cheap for the amount of real estate that you get, and there are plenty of companies that sell terrain that fit the Batman aesthetic. Just bear in mind that there is a level of verticality to the Batman game, so a few tall buildings never go amiss, and there should be plenty of cover for models to hide from enemy firepower. You can check out the description of this video for links to some companies that sell suitable terrain. Just note that plastic bottles and errant boxes can do in a pinch. You can set the board up by taking turns to place a piece of terrain each, or simply organize the terrain to create an aesthetically pleasing board to both players' agreement. Then, each player will roll a d6 to dictate who has setup initiative for the rest of the setup process. If both players roll the same number, then continue to roll dice until one player is the clear winner. Now, we will place street lamp markers onto the board. Each player takes two 30mm street lamp markers, and starting with the player who has initiative, you will each take turns placing a marker on the board each, until all markers have been placed. No street lamp can be placed within 8 inches of another, and no closer to 2 inches of a board edge. These street lamps will illuminate any models within 4 inches of them, meaning that those models do not benefit from the night rule. The night rule means that models can only see other models up to 12 inches away, because it's always nighttime in Gotham. This means that if you want to shoot at someone further than 12 inches away, you'll suffer severe penalties. Now that there are 4 street lamp markers down on the board, each player will take turns placing their two 30mm sewer markers. Just like street lamps, sewer markers cannot be placed within 8 inches of another and no closer than 2 inches to any board edge. During the game, models in base contact can perform a manipulate action to immediately teleport to another sewer marker. We cover the different types of actions in a later video. It is important to note that once a model travels through a sewer, they can no longer be moved that turn, and each model can enter a sewer only once per round, so think carefully before you trudge through the sludge. Now that the battlefield has been defined, the player with initiative shuffles and draws an encounter card from the encounter card deck. The encounter card determines where each player will deploy their models. Here is one example of such a card. Each encounter card has a name listed on its side. This one is called Showdown. This card will display the setup areas for each player. The player with setup initiative will decide which colored zone they will deploy their crew in, black or yellow. Each encounter card also has a special rule for the scenario that each player must abide by. In Showdown, for example, the first group of models you deploy may only contain models with the leader, sidekick, and free agent rank. Next, you may optionally draw an event card that will apply for the game. This is an advanced rule, so not advised for your first game. These cards add additional modifiers to the match. For example, Heavy Rain reduces the rate of fire of ranged weapons. Now that your deployment zone have been chosen, each player now draws 4 objective cards from their deck into their hand. Once that is done, each player may discard any number of cards and draw that many new cards. Each player will then divide their crew into 2 groups with an equal number in each group, or as evenly as possible if there is an odd number of models. The player with initiative deploys their half first, then the other player does the same until both crews are fully deployed. Some models have special setup rules like hidden, which means they do not deploy normally and do not count as part of the crew when dividing the models. Now that you have each deployed your crew, you are now ready to play the Batman miniatures game. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more Batman miniatures game content, and hit the bell button to always be notified when we release new videos just like this. Thanks for joining me today. Bye bye!